us. Very quiet. Very quiet. And people, I think I'm living in Disney. In Disney. In Disney. You know why? Before I introduce my guest, this morning I woke up. The very first morning we slept in our new location. I walk out the front door. Well, I look out the front door, I should say. And what do I see? Not one, not two, not three, not four, five. Five Bambis taking it easy in my front yard. And I kind of knew when we were driving through the neighborhood when I first looked at this place. We saw different deer throughout the complex. I said, okay, don't look too bad. Not too many deer around. I wasn't expecting 5 deer sitting in my front yard and looking at me like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Anyway, getting settled in. As you can see on my left, my esteemed co-host, my buddy, my friend. Sometimes we clash heads, which is it's normal, but we shake it off, move past it, and move to the future. Okay, some people have trouble doing that. I'm not naming any names, but some people have trouble doing that. But it is what it is. Anyway,
it's me, y'all.
No.
It's me.
It's my show. Okay.
That's why it's me. That's why it's me.
Now, let me.
I was about to rob him, put my hoodie on and everything.
Let me just say this. I'm gonna say this because I got a lot to cover today, people. A lot. I want to drop some knowledge on you today. I'm going to drop some knowledge on you today. Hopefully, you're able to soak it up, comprehend it, understand it, and know that I'm trying to help you to get to those playoffs in the fall and part of the winter to win your fantasy football championship. But you got to know this information first. So, welcome to the show, Mr. FSP.
Thank you. You know, I even when I'm tired, I make time to, take care of the show. So, I'm here. I am fresh off of the 11-7 butt whooping of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Me and the wife went to go see the Nationals. Well, we're Diamondback season ticket holders, but obviously I'm a Nationals fan, being where I'm from. So just waking up, gotta thank God. Today seems kind of odd. No barking from the dog, no small. I'm about to cook the breakfast with a little hog. In my fresh house, that I'm just going to step. And I'm gonna take over the show. Yes, I am.
You ain't taking over this damn show. Anyway.
Why are you cursing? Why are you cursing?
Because I can.
Y'all, watch how this go.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna drop some knowledge, people, and Mr. FSP more than likely won't believe me. More than likely, because first off the bat, I'm going to be talking about the history of running backs. Okay? First off the bat, we're talking about the history of running backs. And then we're going to talk about rookies coming into the league in different positions, running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers that I think are going to flourish, in my opinion. Okay? And let's do this. Let me just make sure I got this together. No, I don't. No, I don't. Oh, I think I do.
This is why I have to control the show, ladies and gentlemen, because I have everything set and prepared, whereas the technically challenged normally are technically challenged. But I can't wait to see all this fresh information that he has to share that should have been prepped already. I'm
It's
just going to say that.
it's prepped. I'm ready. Okay, people. First off the bat, first off the bat, we're going to be talking about.
Wow. We just lost him fresh off the bat. Fresh off. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, I'm going to have to control the show. I have no clue what Mr. Taylor has going on. He's in his 55 and older community, swingers. But uh,
Right here. I'm here.
there he is.
I'm
There
here.
he is.
I'm here.
He's having technical difficulties. It's okay. It's all right. Are you prepared, or you need me to walk the line a little more, or what you need?
No, hold on.
Okay, Mr. Taylor again is having technical difficulties, and all this information he's got to share, I'm hoping it's good because he keeps bouncing in and out, and I can't control it because it's not my stream, it's his stream. Uh, but if I need to take over at some point, I will. Are you okay over there, Mr. Taylor?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just got a little issue here, and I'm trying to straighten it out. I apologize, people. I had this all together, and for um, whatever reason, let's see football. No, I don't want that. I want. Where's the heck is it at?
So as he prepares to get anything and everything together, I'm going to talk about the NBA. Because if he goes out again, you know, who
Go
knows?
ahead. Go ahead and talk about this now, and I'll get it together. Go ahead.
So I'm in a group right now discussing the potential of how the NBA is going to run its finals. Two small market teams, OKC and the Pacers. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a high scoring series. I don't believe there's going to be any defense. I understand that OKC was top 10 in a lot of a lot of categories, but uh, I don't think it's going to be any defense in this series. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor, if you are prepared and ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Okay. All right, people. Here we go.
We'll see.
We're going to be, it's going to be interesting. I thought Indianapolis was going to win this since you got this. We'll talk about it real quick before we move on to history running backs, which is very important in fantasy, people. Very important. I predicted at least 2 of the last 3 years about a downfall of a player that happened to be running back, which the naysayers had to come back and tell me I was right. I'm going to be right again this year. I run a high percentage on running backs. Okay. But before we get to that, let's finish your thought on the Indianapolis Pacers versus Oklahoma City Thunder.
Well, let me finish it, and then my whole thought was because in a different group, not the one you're familiar with, we're currently discussing how this gameplay is going to go, and I agree with some of the rhetoric as if you shut down Pascal Siakam, the Pacers aren't going to have much to go to for scoring, even though they are a very complete team. There's not one dominant player that can take over the game. They have Halliburton who can give assists, who can get some points, who's a double-double guy, but not a I'm gonna take the game over guy. Pascal Siakam has the pedigree from the Toronto Raptors when he won the title with them, but he was a cog, not a lead. Uh, I don't see anybody else on that team being that dominant of a player. Whereas Gilchrist, if you shut him down, Williams can step up and take over, right? But if Williams is faltering, you got Chet Holmgren, who's an easy double double. He's just very, very thin. At the center position, you have Hartenstein, who's a good player, but he's not a player that I'm not expecting double digits from him at all. Uh, but there are three players on OKC that can be the difference maker if one of the three aren't. You don't have that with the Pacers. You have two players that are very good, and the rest are decent role players. Both teams are super young. They're not supposed to be here, but
But
S-
they're, but
SGA is MVP. So go ahead.
they're both they turned out to be the most athletic. Okay.
Yeah,
I had talked about that before about athletic teams going up against other teams that aren't athletic as they are. They are athletic, and I'm talking about Indianapolis first. They are athletic, and they learn to play better defense than they had done in the earlier part of the year. They're about 50 games or 45 games that since January 1st, there are about 45 games that they won and less than 20 that they lost. The Indianapolis Pacers, they're a very somewhat complete team. Conversely, the Oklahoma City Thunder are a very young team, have very good offensive players, and are one of the best teams to play defense. So this is going to be, and both of them are from small markets, okay? And both of them are from small markets. I don't know how much of a look-see they'll get from casual NBA fans, but this should be a pretty competitive series. They got to win 4 out of 7, and I'm thinking the home team is favored, even though the whatever it is, OKC or Indianapolis have found success on the road. This to me is going to be a fascinating series. Okay, Mr. FSP got his thoughts out on Indianapolis and OKC. I also did the same. We're going to talk about fantasy football, my favorite subject. My favorite subject. We're going to talk about running backs, which is even more my favorite subject. And check this out. I found this article that helps me best describe the curse of 370. Okay? And people are going to ask me, what's the curse of 370?
370 carries.
Let me explain this the way I want to explain it. Please. Please.
I was giving my thought. I didn't.
Well, you don't have to give your thoughts until I ask you, please. Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay. Please. Please.
Oh wow. I would take note of that. Because I'm gonna use that Saturday.
I let
I
you
don't need your thought until I ask for it. I'm going to use that.
That's usually the way a host and co-host work.
I mean, they don't say I don't need your opinion until I ask for it.
Let me put it this way. I keep it 100 and 100%. You have a habit of interrupting.
Being better than you, yeah.
Just like I said.
I just did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I just did that on purpose.
Okay. Did you do it? You do it on purpose a lot. So anyway,
you do it on my show. But go ahead.
Let's not banter. I want to get to the point here. The curse.
Okay. Please do.
This curse of 370 was discovered by a guy from Football Outsiders all the way back, people, from 2004, while examining the heavy workload Ricky Williams had racked up in 2002 and 2003. We're all talking about running backs here. After 383 carries In 2010, Ricky Williams carried the ball 392 times the following year. That's crazy. 392 times the following year. His yards per carry fell off well over a yard. So if it was 4.9 or 4.5, it dropped to 3.5 or 3.9. Okay? And his fantasy production in PPR leagues dropped by just under 24%. That's a lot from a dual-purpose running back. So he went back. This guy, Aaron Schultz, looked at every 370 carry back and examined their production in the following season. And this is his conclusion. And I've been talking about this before, and this article best describes what I've been talking about. I've been talking about this for years, and this is basically how it goes. These backs basically fall in three categories. Guys who got injured the next year, Derrick Henry. Guys who never as good again, and guys who are Eric Dickerson. Okay? That's three different categories. There have been 30. Listen to what I'm saying here. There have been 30 running backs since 1980 who have carried the ball over 370 times in the regular season. Of that one group out of 30, okay? Eric Dickerson in 1984, when he set the single-season rushing record, improved on his production the previous season. A dozen, now that's 40%, saw their production drop by over half. The average decrease in production topped 40%. So and that's gross enough. Over 2/3 of those 370 carry backs missed time the following year. I've talked about this before. Said they either get hurt or they drop dramatically in their production. 8 sat out at least 6 games, including the only 370 carry back of the past decade, and I mentioned him earlier, Derrick Henry in 2020. The curse of 370 evolves. NFL offenses have evolved in recent years. The days of the running backs amassing more than 370 carries in a season are all but gone. Henry is the lone guy in the last 10 years. But the curse of 370, remember this, has evolved right along with it. Like bacteria becoming resistant to antibiotics. Now, if a back records more than 300, and listen to what I'm saying. I talked about 300 carries. Listen to what I'm saying. Now, if a back records more than 370 total touches in a campaign, odds are good that the following season will be let down city. Since 2007, there have been 25 instances where running back surpassed 370 touches in a season. 25 people. Of that group, 2, that was Clint Portis in 2008 and Ray Rice in 2011, gained more yardage the following year. An equal number, Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson in 2009 saw an increase in PPR points. That's 8% who increased their production. A few others saw minimal decreases. Fantasy managers were pleased with that, but they didn't want to play in traffic. For the vast majority, the bottom fell out. Missed games, lost season, precipitous drops in both yardage gained and fantasy points amassed. Doom and despair. The feeling of a Browns fan. I had to get Browns in there somewhere. I'm wearing my Browns colors. Had to get in there somewhere. Now, I'm going to take a look back at 10 backs who have surpassed 370 touches over the past decade. And with that big workload meant the following year. Let's go back to 2016 with one of my favorite backs, David Johnson, had 373 carries, 411.8 fantasy points. The next season, he played one game, 15 fantasy points. That's a 96 over a 96-point drop off. 2017, Le'Veon Bell, 406 touches, 345.6 fantasy points. That was 2017. 2019, 215 fantasy points and played 15 games. And he dropped off 345 to 215. That's a big drop. Okay. Ezekiel Elliott in 2018, 380. All these are over 370. 381 touches, 331 fantasy points. The following year, he played 16 games, 315 fantasy points, and that was not that bad. A little more than 4% drop off. One of my favorite backs that I've been pretty correct on. 2019, CMC. For those who don't know CMC, that's Christian McCaffrey. 403 touches, 469 fantasy points. That he was a monster that year. The next season, 3 games, 90 points, 80%, over 80% drop off. 2020, Derrick Henry. People love Derrick Henry, including my esteemed co-host. Love Derrick Henry. And I tried, and he had 397 touches, 335 fantasy points. The next season, I told him, don't touch Derrick Henry. Do not even go near Derrick Henry. Blah, 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 blah. Didn't want to listen. I even predicted the week he was going to get hurt. He played 8 games, 187 fantasy points, and over 44% drop off. 2021, Jonathan Taylor, 372 touches, 377 fantasy points. The following season, 11 games played. He was out 152 fantasy points and over almost a 60-point drop-off. 60 percentage points drop-off. 2021 and Najee Harris, not one of my favorite backs, had 381 touches, 300 fantasy points. He played the full season, but he only had 227 fantasy points with a little more than 24 percentage points drop off. We're getting to Derrick Henry again. Derrick Henry at 2022, 382 touches, 304 fantasy points. Next season, he played all 17 games. God bless him. But only 238 fantasy points, was a little more than 21% drop off. He played the whole season, and he still dropped off about 25%. 2022, Josh Jacobs, 393 touches, 330 fantasy points. He played only in 13 games. He missed 4 games. 183 fantasy points, over 44% drop-off in percentage. And now we have the aforementioned, and people are jumping all over this, and I'm not one of them. 2024, Saquon Barkley, 378 touches with 351 fantasy points. What's he going to do this year? I gave you 9. 9 backs that fell off in different levels. With Saquon, I'm not touching Saquon in the first round. Not touching him in the first round. Some people are going to say, "It's Saquon. He's going to be able to ball out in that." History shows us that is not going to happen. Of that group, one back in 2019 came close enough to the prior year's number to justify his ADP. Every other back saw a drop off of at least 20% in PPR points. So you grab a back, and all these backs at one point in time were first round picks, high first round picks. Okay, 20% drop off from the previous year. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Don't go chasing the points from previous years. 4 of the 9 backs, not including Barkley last year, sat out at least 6 games this year. In 6 games a year, the following the 370 touch campaign. 5 if you count the contract dispute that wiped out Le'Veon Bell's 2018 season. That's over half who missed a big chunk of the year and wrecked fantasy squads. David Johnson dislocated his wrist in the season opener in 2017 and missed the rest of the year. Christian McCaffrey played in just 3 games in 2020 thanks to an ankle and shoulder ailment. Derrick Henry was actually on a better per game pace. Mr. FSP tried to stress that to me, but it didn't make a difference. He still got hurt and sat out the rest of his rest of the season. Jonathan Taylor lost a half a dozen games to ankle injuries in 2022. If you give Le'Veon Bell a mulligan for 2018 and use his 2019 production instead of a goose egg, the average drop-off in production for backs coming off a 370 touch campaign is over 49%. Half the points. Numbers don't lie, and I keep pounding the table for this. Numbers don't lie, and the sample size is big enough. The reality is this: if a running back hits 370 touches, not carries, touches, his production the next year will all but certainly drop off considerably. Is it possible to avoid the curse of 370? Yes, it's likely, not even a little. Barkley tallied 370 total touches for the Philadelphia Eagles last year, on the way to becoming the 9th 2,000-yard rusher in NFL history. Right there, that is the cause. That is alone a cause for concern. And I've stressed this in multiple programs. He had another 104 touches in the playoffs, 26 per game. That includes 91 carries. So all told, Barkley carried the ball. This is mind-blowing. 436 times last season and touched it 482. He touched it damn near 500 times. That number isn't alarming. It's terrifying. I'm going to get more into the why with Barkley next week here at and believe it or not, there are even more reasons for apprehension. But me being one of them wants no part of Barkley at his ADP, and even less with the first overall pick. And I've said this over and over again. He is not the number 1 pick. He is not. There's another round 1 running back who sailed past 370 touches in 2024. It just wasn't in the NFL. You know who that was? And people are so high on him. I am not. Some people are going to take him in the first round. I am not. People, do you know who that is? That's Ashton Genty of the Las Vegas Raiders. Had 397 touches at Boise State last season. So in the interest of seeing if a heavy college workload can have the same detrimental effect on rookie numbers? Let's look at every running back selected in the top 10 over the last decade. Over the last decade. In 2015, the top running back was Todd Gurley. Okay? He had 135 touches in his final season. In his rookie season, he had 250. In PPR finish, he was running back 9. Ezekiel Elliott in 2016 had 360 in college, 16 in college, and 354 touches his rookie season, and he was running back 2. Okay. Leonard Fournette, 144 touches in 2017, 304 touches in his rookie season. He was running back 10. Christian McCaffrey, also in 2017, 290 touches in college, 230 in his rookie season. It shows how much he was, I would say, he was a dynamic back right out the gate. He was running back 9. He was top 9 in running backs. Saquon Barkley at 2018, 271 touches in college, 352 touches. He was running back 1 in 2018. Bijan Robinson, 277 in college, 272 because he was splitting time with Tyler Algier in Atlanta. He was running back 8. And this year, Mr. Ashton Jeanty had 300, like I said before, 397 touches. What's going to happen to him here this year? We just haven't seen a rookie back enter the league in recent years coming off racking up the number of touches that Jeanty had a season ago. Elliott was the closest, but he had over 80 fewer in the 2015 in a one fewer game. Todd Gurley tore his ACL in 2014, and Leonard Fournette battled a bulky ankle in his last year at LSU. However, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, piled up 382 total touches at Stanford in 2015. In 2016, he led the nation in all-purpose yards, but he was also missed a couple of games and sat out another. Make of what you will, but the biggest takeaway from this table should be that no running back drafted among the top 10s since 2015 finished lower than running back 10 as a rookie in PPR points. Now, is Ashton Jeanty workload a little worrisome? Could be. The Raiders' bottom 10 offense is a big concern that touches the mass in the Mountain West Conference. Okay, so I may have burned a bridge, but don't judge me on that, okay? Close might be close enough. As things stand now, the first running back off the boards in 2025 isn't Barkley. It's Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. He escaped the curse of 370 in his second season, in 2024, but just barely. He had 365 total touches, second in a regular season behind Barkley. Does that mean he's safe? No. This data is to support that even at 325 touches, a running back is more likely to regress the following season than to meet or surpass the prior campaign. Don't worry, a table with scores of let me put it this way. What I'm trying to say, people, is this. When a running back gets an extraordinary amount of touches, and I've been preaching this forever, without reading this article. I knew this forever. Every year I've named the running backs that had 2,000 yards and what happened the following season. This takes it a little further. The article tells me that what I was preaching all this time is correct. They drop off at least 25% from the previous year. So what I'm telling you is this: I know people are still going to do it because they're going to be chasing the numbers, and he's a sexy running back right now. Everybody's going to jump on that. I'm talking about Saquon Barkley, but buyer beware. That's all I can say. Buyer beware. And history tells us that is what's going to happen. Is Saquon Barkley is not going to get even close to the type of numbers that he had this year. It's not going to happen. It's just like riding in the car 100 miles an hour, trying to get to 100 miles an hour in 100 miles. That car's going to break down before you get to the 100 miles. That car's going to break. You run it 100 miles an hour, trying to get 100 miles with it, run it. And that car's going to break down. It can't sustain. Won't sustain. Mr. FSP, talk to me.
After 35 minutes of just you yapping,
Well, you don't have to come like that. You don't have to.
I mean, if I'm gonna be a co-host, I at least should talk more than 35 minutes. Well, I'm gonna say this.
Let me just say this. You see this in the back, people? It says for no reason. Okay? Meaning I can talk as long as I want to without interruption. Okay? Now, Mr. FSP, if you have something constructive or we want to add into the conversation, I'll bring it back.
This is so diabolical. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, what the business is. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, not this Saturday because I'll be out of town, but next Saturday, Fantasy Sports and Politics will be live yet again. And I'm not going to take, oh, look at that. He lost his connection again. Oh, wow. Look at that. See how God don't like ugly? You see, that ugly dude just got booted off his own show. Yeah. See how God don't like ugly, y'all? You see how God don't like ugly? I'm just saying, the Lord knows when ugliness is happening. So I want to thank God for that, firstly. Secondly, as I was saying, next Saturday, not this Saturday, Fantasy Sports and Politics will be live. And I will be discussing what's going on. And look how God took him out the picture again. I'm telling y'all. When I discuss what's going on in the NBA, some football, this gentleman, he has a good record on running backs. But what he just told you was a bunch of BS. I tuned out. I literally tuned out because when he was dogging out the players, well, I said this and I said that. Listen, guys, when you claim people are washed and bust one year and you're right that year, but then they turn around and have 3 consecutive better than any type of year they've ever had, who's right and who's wrong? The guy that claimed they're a bust and wash for one season, and then they come back and do 2 to 3 seasons over anything they've ever done in their career. Derrick Henry last year had the best career numbers he's ever had. But yet 3 years ago, he was washed. He was a bust. He got hurt. He got hurt. He played
Let me just say this, people. Let me just say this. Okay. My point, and Mr. FSP has a point. Okay. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. When a back has a career year, when a back has a career year, the following season is when he drops off. Not 2 or 3 seasons after the fact, the following season. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm talking about the following season. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Not 2 and 3 seasons after the fact. Okay? So when we're talking about this, we're talking about a guy. I'm sorry. When we're talking about this, I'm talking about the following season. I'm not talking about 2 or 3 seasons after the fact. Okay? 2 or 3 seasons after the fact gives him a time to recoup, gives him a time to come back from his problems that he had the following season. Not talking 2 and 3 seasons down the road. I'm talking about the following season. Okay? You take each season as it comes. When all these backs I'm talking about have issues the following season, when they had career years the following season, you got to take that into account. I'm trying to show you people. And next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be back here again talking about the best fit for at least 10 of these players, rookie players coming into the year. At least 10 coming into the year. Mr. FSP, God bless him, he had to express himself saying that 2 or 3 years after the fact. I was talking about the following season. All these players, the following season fell off. I'm not talking about, 2020, Derrick Henry fell off the following season in 2021. He only played 8 games. Not talking about 2022, because he had a good season, but he fell off the year after that. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. The following season, when these guys have over 370 touches, the following season they drop off. Not 2 and 3 seasons after the fact. I'm not trying to upstage anybody. Trust me. I'm trying to give you information that is going to be helpful. That don't chase the numbers. That's exactly what I've been saying. Do not chase the numbers. I'm sorry Mr. FSP left, because he was going to go into 2 or 3 years down the road. That's not the point I was making. I'm sorry. That's not the point I was making. I was making the point that when they have over 370 touches, or over 370 touches, that they were going to drop off the following season, not 2 and 3 seasons after that. That's the point. That's exactly the point. All right, people. I got to go. All right? And I want to thank you for joining me. Sorry for the interruptions. When I come back next week, I'm going to talk about good fits. Good fits. I know I talked quite a bit. 35 minutes. He told me. I mean, come on. This is my show. Come on. Really? My show. And then I'm going to ask you for your thoughts. Okay? Come on. Enjoy your rest of the week. Be safe. See you Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm out.